Ladies and gentlemen, Ian McKellen. Yeah.
God, you're looking gorgeous.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you, love. My liege, thank you.
I think you've only got me on this show to make you look young.
I love the beard. The whiskers.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very, very good.
It's taken a year to grow. I hate it. I walk along the street and I see this geezer in the shop windows and think, oh, dear, I'm glad I'm not him, and then realise I am.
And you're great for the part, of course.
Well, it's better than sticking one on every night.
Yeah, yeah. As they say. King Lear.
Sorry, I was thinking about something else altogether.
King Lear and Sorin, too.
Yes, Sorin in the Seagull. Yes, we're
Seagull.
doing 2 plays, because I couldn't do King Lear 8 shows a week, so
Is
we're
it
doing 2 plays.
impossible to do that? I mean, just because of the
I don't think anyone's ever done it. In the old days, the old actor managers, they'd do a lot of Shakespeare at the same time, but they wouldn't do Lear more than twice a week, I don't think.
Yes.
And I do it 4 times a week.
And I mean, it is reckoned to be the kind of the Everest, the summit of the actor's craft.
Yeah.
But how much? I mean, when you do something as substantial as that, how much of it do you take with you? How much does it play in your mind? How much do you learn from it?
Well, a great deal, because it's a great play, and anyone who's ever read it or seen it will confirm that, and people want to come back and see it again because there's so much in it. And I tell you, I've done it 100 times around the world, beginning in Stratford earlier in the year, and there hasn't been a performance that I haven't thought, oh my God, there's something else I hadn't realised was there, and it's a privilege, really, isn't it? Well, do I take it back home with me? No, I don't think so. He's a really grumpy old man, and it does remind me that I am an old man, or getting there, and his intimations of death and the need to tidy up one's life and make sure that you realise what your life is really about, which is about relationships rather than success, perhaps, has dawned on me, because he only begins to learn what's right about life when he gives up his job, and you know. Well,
Are you looking at me?
Yes, I am, actually.
Are you looking at me?
But it's part of it, isn't it?
Yes,
I mean,
of course,
retirement's a very good thing to be able to do, as long as you're not forced into it, of course.
Exactly right. Retirement's okay, provided you've got something to do in retirement.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah. What about madness, too? Because it's about madness, isn't it?
Well, he goes mad, and he's terrified of going mad, and he says it very, very early on in the story, which has a rapid descent from running his world to being thrown out on the heath by his daughters. And there he goes really mad, people say, and they refer to the mad scenes in the storm, and he rages against the elements, and actually, I think he's at his most sane when he's mad.
Why?
And well, just some of the things he says. He meets a beggar not wearing many clothes and says, "Is man no more than this? Are we just a poor, bare, forked animal?" And he was saying that 400 years before Charles Darwin confirmed that that was the case. We might be made in the likeness of God, but we were animals. Yes. And so he has great illuminating ideas, and he goes on a wonderful voyage of discovery. And the most important one is to discover that love is all. And then he has deep regrets because he spurned the love of his daughter who tried to tell him the truth.
When you, that part of the play, is that where you take your clothes off too?
Yeah, well, no, King Lear takes his clothes off.
Yes,
I don't take my clothes off. And what he reveals, people get very excited about, I may say.
Well,
but,
I mean, I read the reviews.
The reviews, yes.
Germaine Greer.
Yes, Germaine Greer. Well, she's well qualified, I'm sure, to judge on
She said impressive, she said.
She was impressed. Well, she doesn't know whether they're my genitalia or King Lear's. I mean, you know. You know, I wear makeup, so who knows? There may not actually be me you're looking at.
And when you went on tour, did it cause any problems at all? Because you toured the...
Well, there are a lot of things you can't do abroad.
Yes.
And a lot of them, in Singapore, which was our first stop, you can't smoke on stage. And you certainly can't take your clothes off if there are anyone under the age of 21 in the audience. I don't know. Do people not realise they have genitalia until they're 21? I mean, it's absolutely ludicrous, as I think are the other rules that they have. And so I kept my underpants on.
You did?
Yeah.
Because otherwise the audience would have been, in a sense, segregated.
Well, I would have been breaking the law, yes.
You'd have been breaking the law.
But, you know, it's difficult. It's not easy as an openly gay man, or as a gay man anyway, to go to Singapore, because that, too, is illegal. And if I were to make love in Singapore, then I would be open myself to being put into prison. I don't know, I was on a chat show early morning in Singapore. You know the sort of couple they have all over the world. They're not married, but they behave as if they are. You know, cosy with each other. And it came to the end of the interview. I was on there with Francis Barber, who's playing my daughter in King Lear, and they said, "So, what are you going to do? What are you looking forward to doing in Singapore?" And rather mischief-making, I said, "Well, I'm looking forward to finding a really decent gay bar." And then I looked at the man and I said, "I wonder if you can recommend one." Well, I looked at the playback of the show afterwards. I've never seen credits go up so quickly. An embarrassed face. There were then questions in Parliament as to what I was doing,
really?
Getting involved in internal affairs, and I had to point out this was a law that the British had left behind. It was a silly old British law that, thank God, we got rid of here.
Absolutely.
And that they should get rid of there. And then we did find some gay bars, and I must say that the welcome was tumultuous.
Well, I mean, it's interesting, isn't it? Because you came out, and as soon as you did, it seemed to me, if you look at your career path, well, I mean, the perception is that if you come out, certainly in Hollywood movies, that somehow you lose the audience and people don't want to see you and that sort of...
Well, of course, it's not only theatre and films that you think your career is going to be over. It used to be thought that it was the worst thing a politician could do, was to be honest about their sexuality.
Sure.
And a headmaster and all sorts of areas. I don't know. It worked well for me, I think, perhaps because I got a little bit more famous as a result of talking about that side of my life, but...
well, there's more to it than that, though, wouldn't there?
Yeah, I hope the real reason was that my life utterly changed.
In what way?
Well, I got in touch with my emotions in a way that I hadn't been allowed to do by the law and by the state from a very early age. You know, I was 28 before it was legal for me to make love. That's a big burden that you carry, whether you know it or not. And then when I just came out and was honest about it, I somehow got in touch with my emotions and was able freely to use them on stage in a way that I hadn't been able to before. I think I'd always been acting, always in disguise. And then I realized there was another side, a more important side to acting, which was telling the truth about myself. And my truth was now self-evident, and I gained the most important thing an actor can have, which is self-confidence. And I think became a better actor as a result, and maybe I got better parts because of that.
That's fascinating. Sorry. I suppose you're right. That's what you have to do as an actor. You have to sort of tell the truth on stage. Every actor says that.
Yes,
how many really do it, though?
Yes. Well, I know. You plug into something, and if the wiring has been cut off for some reason, then it gets difficult.
And America too? I mean, what was the reception like? When you go abroad on a tour like this, I mean, do you feel that you're some kind of cultural ambassador?
Well, you know, in my life, there will never be anything greater than William Shakespeare. I mean, it's just a thrill, and every time you're out on stage, to share Shakespeare with an audience who knows him or doesn't is a bit ambassadorial. But, you know, make no mistake about it, the audiences who pack out theatres for King Lear, and indeed the Seagull in New York and Los Angeles, where we were, they're the sort of people who will save up their dollars and cents and cross the Atlantic to come and see those plays done by British actors in London and in Stratford.
So they're committed in any case.
Yes, it's not like doing a Broadway run when you want to persuade people into the theatre who don't know anything about what you're doing. So, in fact, the audience reaction is very similar in New York and Singapore and New Zealand or London.
Was it true that in America you nearly missed a cue?
Oh, dear. Well, Shakespeare, who was an actor, knew that King Lear was he'd written a really hard part, and you're stretched, you know, not just physically, but emotionally and mentally. And after the storm scenes, and we've got real rain, I told you, he gives you a rest. You're off stage for about half an hour while other actors get on with other parts of the story, and it's a very welcome break. Hamlet has one as well. It's even better for me because we have our interval just about that time, so I've got 50 minutes off stage. Oh, it's wonderful. You can sit down and have a chat. And one night I thought I'll have a little kip because there was a very inviting sofa in the dressing room, and I had a local dresser who was far too polite to interrupt me when he sensed, or he didn't perhaps, that my cue to go back onto stage was getting near. And I'm under blankets and everything, so's the tannoy won't interrupt me with the sound of the other actors getting on with it, and I'm fast asleep, and the management realise McKellen's not here, so they come up to find me. The dresser says, I don't know where he is. Well, I'm under the blankets. They look in, they can't see anything about it. Well, they think, is he out having a cigarette? What's he doing? Oh, he's gone wandering around. Oh, no. But the cue comes, and there's a pause, and poor old Bill Gaunt and Ben Majors are just sitting on stage with nothing to do but twiddle their thumbs, and they're thinking of leaving, when the stage management takes on his responsibilities and said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm afraid we must postpone the performance just for a moment because there's been a technical hitch. At which time he heard me racing down the steps to get onto the stage. He said, oh, no, here he is.
Enter King Lear at full pelt. Well, it's in the New London Theatre and it starts next week. Yeah.
Yep.
And in conjunction with Seagull.
Yes.
I love the Seagull.
Oh, it's a wonderful play, both. It's thrilling to do them both. And the Seagull's all about the theatre, so it's one that actors enjoy enormously.
Ian McKellen, thank you very much indeed. Ian McKellen.